All right. So our last article. So I've been a Trekkie for a long time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where you stand on Star Trek. I know you're a Star Wars guy, and there's always been people that are like, "Oh, you're either Star Wars or Star Trek." I've always been both. Before I ever went to a comic book convention, I went to a Star Trek convention, and yes, I did dress up in a command uniform based on Deep Space Nine outfit, and I might actually still have it, but it doesn't fit me anymore. Anyway, but it was like I was starting to say I had always remembered the time period when I believe Deep Space Nine was ending and Voyager was on, and I'm pretty sure it was before Enterprise. There's always the Trekkies always start talking, what's going to be the next, what would be the next good series? And there was actually buzz among a lot of the fans at that time, they should do Starfleet Academy. And you could do it in the sense of the characters that are the same throughout the show are the teachers, but you can change the students up because people graduate, they go on to Starfleet to get assigned to ships, you bring in a new batch of recruits, and you can get fresh and different perspectives every season by rotating out the students. And of course, they didn't do it, but now here we are, basically 25 years later, they finally said, oh, yeah, let's do Starfleet Academy. So, as a Trekkie, I'm excited for the concept. Instead of us doing another prequel, sequel type thing, oh, here's the continuing adventures of Picard and crew, or oh, here's how Pike and Kirk got their start, even though they did that in the movies. And it's just stop retelling me the story of Captain Kirk's origin because it's just, I don't care that much anymore. It's only one Kirk, it's Shatner. That's it. What did you think of this announcement?
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm not a Trekkie. I have a complicated relationship with Star Trek. And so, what I mean by that is, growing up, Star Trek was a big deal to my grandmother and to a lesser extent, my mother. So, when the movies came out, or VHS, we'd rent them and we'd watch them. But where it all started to go sour with me is The Next Generation. And what I mean by that is I was too young to actually, or not smart enough to understand Star Wars: The Next Generation. But my grandmother always watched it. Okay. And these were back in the day where there was maybe one, maybe two TVs in the house. And I wanted to play video games. But I can't play video games during Star Wars Next Generation time slot.
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
And so I'd have to sit there. Yeah, I'm sorry. Star Trek. So I'd have to sit there and watch that show, boring science babble show, Whoopi Goldberg. Didn't quite appreciate Patrick Stewart at the time. Their adventures at the holodeck. I just thought it was all boring and wanted to get back to playing Zelda.
Oh my goodness.
So when it comes to the Star Trek for Star Wars, I'm almost militant in this aspect when it comes to that. I'm Star Wars team all the way. In fact, one of the funniest questions I ever asked a beloved D&D group back in the day, and it sparked quite the controversy and conversation, was who would win in a fight, Chewbacca or Worf? Obviously, I'm saying Chewbacca is destroying Worf. But there were Trekkies in the group. They were like, nope. This is okay, whatever. So there you go. So yeah. I see this trailer when I see the Klingon with the face piercing, and I'm sorry, I have this. It's called like cosmophobia. Okay, I literally find it disgusting for like metal versus flesh, jewelry wearing piercings, and so instantly I don't like that character, and it's got nothing to do with any other factor that I'm insane.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's very blah. And then on top of it, Magic the Gathering just announced all these Universe Beyond sets. And their last Magic set involved, it's called Edge of Eternities. It involves space and starships and shit. I'm like, oh, this is paving the way for Star Wars in Magic. And lo and behold, it's going to be Star Trek is going to be one of the universes beyond. And I'm like, what the hell? This is stupid. Come on. Star Trek does not fit Magic. Think of Star Wars. You got the fucking lightsabers and the Force and the Force powers and the Millennium Falcon, the droids, which are perfect, like colorless artifact golems. Fuck yeah, that would be awesome. But no, we got Star Trek with their TV remote phaser bullshit weapons. The only cool weapon, and that's a very loose label, is that Klingon batleth thing, which looks to be about the most ineffective bladed weapon that could possibly be imagined. And even if you see him fight it, it's just yikes. But this is in magic. I digress. I've overly answered your question. I'm not a big Star Trek dude, so I didn't get much out of it.
I'm not going to disagree. Star Wars makes more sense because, as we've always said, it's a story about space wizards who use the Force, which is like magic. And Star Trek has always been about finding a scientific explanation for things, finding the scientific answer. It's not about magic ever. There have been things that have happened in Star Trek movies and TV shows that are unexplained that could be magic. You've got
Didn't they find God in one of the movies or some shit?
Yeah, the
Journey Home or some shit. I don't know.
No, yeah,
I don't know. Whatever.
It's the one where they fly to the center of the universe, and
yeah, I remember specifically that God character going, "Oh, yeah." I did Star Trek.
It gives you the greatest question in science fiction history, in my opinion, is James T. Kirk going, "What does God need with a starship?" One of the best lines in one of the worst Star Trek movies. And got characters like Q, who's an omnipotent being with godlike powers that don't ever explain his species. You've got that when they flew to the center of the universe and encountered that creature who was saying they were God. So there are things in Star Trek, the mind melding with the Vulcans, like this is an ability they have. They don't ever explain how the ability works. There's no scientific explanation in Star Trek for it. But I agree. Again, when you're dealing with mythical kind of ideas, Star Wars is definitely more on that side. I guess it's whoever they got the license from. Paramount probably is trying to be like, oh, we got to get Star Trek out there again more. Especially we got this new show coming. No one's watching.
Surprisingly good comic, X-Men and Star Trek.
Yeah.
So pretty decent comic, to be honest with you.
But no one's watching Brave New Worlds.
No? Was that the current shit? Is that a show or?
Yeah, I don't even know if it's on anymore, to tell you the truth. I haven't seen ads for it in a while, so I'm not even sure. I know that the Picard series came to an end because it was only 3 seasons, I believe, and the last season was basically like, let's get the old crew back together and have one last adventure. That was the whole thing, which, yeah, like they basically pulled the Enterprise D, which was destroyed in Generations. It was rebuilt by Geordi, and they pull it out of mothballs and go have anyway. It was stupid, but. And I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm saying this.
Yeah.
We didn't need that. We didn't need the old people crew having one last adventure. It's just trying to get nostalgia.
Well, you remember when they brought the original onto Next Generation, right? Didn't they do that? I think I remember, Mike.
Pretty much every. DeFrost Kelly, who played Bones, was in the very first episode of Next Generation. Scotty was on an episode. I'm trying to think. The Uhura ever on it? I'm not sure. But yeah, like. They all at one point guessed it until Generations came out, and then William Shatner was actually in the movie. He was like one of the main characters in the movie.
Kirk a better captain or admiral?
First, you have to ask the question: is Kirk a good captain? Because he's prime directive be damned to win the day, win the situation. Where Picard's, we've got rules and we got to follow the rules. So, in that respect, Picard's a better captain.
Yeah.
If you're in a military setting, he's the guy that's not going to get you court-martialed. Kirk's the guy that's going to get you court-martialed.
Yeah.
So
do you like the J.J. Abrams reboot? Let me ask you that. If you're a Trek fan, I don't want to explore that aspect of you much because we don't talk about it. But
I really liked the first movie.
Okay. But you didn't like the second one where what's that guy he plays? Cumberbatch. I'm not Khan. I'm not Khan. I'm not Khan. I'm Khan.
Everyone knew it was. Like, it was
Right.
the worst. It was
Yeah.
the worst kept secret in all of movie history. Everyone knew he was Khan. It was stupid because it was the second movie, and it's like, oh, the second movie, the original cast was Khan, and it was just like, but you did nothing to set him up. Like, they brought Ricardo Montalban in back to play Khan because he was Khan in the show, and actually fought Kirk in the TV show. So it, like, okay, so this was coming back, and he was getting his revenge on Kirk. But you never set that up in this universe, because in the first movie he became captain of the Enterprise. So it's just like, he had no encounters with Khan in the past. So it was stupid. It didn't work for me. That's when I like, it's okay, you don't care about actually writing good stories, you care about cashing in on Star Trek. So it's just in the nostalgia. So that's when it lost me. The first one's a good story. It's well written. To do an alternate timeline thing, like to reboot it without, it was rebooted in a very Star Trek way, where this, I can't remember what they called it, but this like Nexus thing that basically rewrites the history.
Yeah.
Kirk's father gets killed when he was young, so it changes who he is and all this stuff. Yeah, it was a very, it's time travel. Spock goes back in time.
Yeah.
But it's a very Star Trek reboot.
Question, most important question of the night. Does J.J. Abrams deserve some sort of seat at the pantheon of geekdom, since he has directed both Star Trek and Star Wars? I don't feel he's recognized enough.
J.J. Abrams.
In my mind.
All right, this might be controversial. J.J. Abrams,
clip it,
is a good idea guy. He's not a good finisher. And the first, obviously, example of that is Lost. It's a great setup for a show. It's really cool. You're intrigued, like what's going on. And by the time you get to the ending of the show, you find out they were in purgatory the whole time. And it's like, why was I watching this? It's stupid.
That show is grounded in Catholicism. That's amusing.
And then Star Trek, he gives us a great first movie, and then it just falls apart after that. The second movie was just like, ugh.
So
Star Wars
kind of means they shouldn't have brought him in to close out the Star Wars
exactly.
Sequel. Then he did not have a track record to do that,
and he comes,
somehow Palpatine returns.
Somehow Palpatine returns. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's my problem with J.J. Abrams. Good ideas starts, bad finishes. He needs to go back to school and learn how to write a good ending to a story arc.
I will admit, I still enjoy the sequel trilogy. I will admit, though, I do acquiesce to the thought of it being the weakest of the Star Wars trilogy. I will say that for those of you that think I'm a shill.
And here's the thing. He gave us the first one, which was setting up a new universe, but then washed his hands of Star Wars and walked away.
Not a good idea ever.
And then Rian Johnson was like, I'm just going to crap on everything J.J. Abrams set up. So
listen, and I dig what Rian Johnson was trying. I really do. I don't know why this offends people so much, but I do really get the whole, like, the Jedi were not the end all be all. I don't know why that fucks with people so much, because I understand it. I don't know. I digress.
They were the Jedi, the best.
We're not the best. They sit there and let the fucking Sith take over. Anyway, we're the Guardians of Peace. Oh, there's a war? Hey, we'll be your generals. Guardians of Peace generals, right? Makes completely sense. It's not an oxymoron at all. Anywho, listen, I like Jedis and shit.
Stop it. All right. Let us know in the comments down below. A, Star Wars or Star Trek. Which do you prefer? And 2, are you looking forward to Starfleet Academy? And if so, are you planning to watch it? Let us know, and we'll discuss it all in the next episode. Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.